So it's Shelley Wallace, owner of Shelley Wallace Vitality Coaching, coming to you with Nicola Robertson, owner of Diamond Physiotherapy. And this is interview number 2 of a series of interviews that I'm doing with entrepreneurs, inviting them to join me and have a conversation, a candid conversation around the importance of mastering our mindset in these unprecedented times, and as well, how people are continuing to provide value to their clients and to their communities, friends and families, in spite of some of the challenges that we're currently facing. So welcome, Nicola. And
Hi,
I would love it. I am great. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. I would love it if you would share a little bit more about yourself, a little bit about your journey into the world of entrepreneurship.
Sure. So I decided to be a physio from the age of 3, and that was following an injury my dad sustained at work.
3 years old.
Yep.
I don't know if I could pronounce the word physiotherapist at 3. That's very impressive.
Yep.
Love it.
I don't know if I could either, but it was a variation of that. He had a work-related injury and had to have some physiotherapy related to that. And I realized you could boss people around, so it gives you a little bit insight into why I do what I do now. And
were you watching people boss your dad around? Is that how that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I am an only child as well, so it's in the genetics.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I'm an only child as well.
So I then kind of followed that path. I was very athletic as a child, and then decided sports was going to be my physio journey, and got involved with some high-level soccer teams. I actually volunteered from the age of 15 for some professional teams. Doesn't sound as glamorous as it seems. They're a bunch of big babies. If you've ever watched a soccer match, they do fall that often, they do cry that often, and it's generally for no good reason. It also involves evening, weekends, a lot of sweat, and really very, very dull work.
Yes, not as glamorous as I had envisioned it to be.
No,
Did you
and they're not.
Get good seats? Did you at least get good seats for some good matches?
Yeah. And they're not as cute as you think they are either.
Well, probably not when they're sweaty and blubbering. Yeah.
No. So in 2008, I'd done a clinical placement in Canada while I was actually doing my physiotherapy degree, and decided I wanted to move here because of the private practice sector here. In the UK, mostly you have to work in public health. So decided that was a really good option. So, and then I started to get quite intensely involved with chronic pain, especially in the return to work world in Nova Scotia. And we ended up, through circumstance, in Belleville in 2012 through my husband, a relative of my husband's. And I'd kind of delved into pelvic health, but not really been interested in it till I got pregnant myself. And I was about 8 months pregnant with my son, who's now almost 6, and I sneezed and peed everywhere. Not very humbling experience. Yes.
Yeah.
But I knew about pelvic health, and so asked my midwife, what should I do? Who should I see? And she kind of looked like I had 3 heads, and I thought, oh, that's weird. My son was 10-3, long, painful, not great labor. I won't give any details for anyone who's not had children, because it's fine. I survived.
We'll spare them. There's like a cloak of secrecy over it. Yeah. I
yes.
Get it. Yeah.
And
no one would have kids.
Yeah, I ended up spending a lot of time going to Toronto actually for pelvic health, and my physio convinced me to take the course. But I knew I wanted to have another baby, so didn't want to go down the route of starting my own business at that point. So I then had Iona, who was 10-9, so I just got more damaged. But around 6 months after I had her, I said to my husband, I think I want to start on my own. And I think we both hadn't had enough sleep because we thought it would be a really good idea. He works in a fairly high pressure job as well, and we had 2 small children. But sure, let's start a business.
Start a business.
But the real reason I wanted to do it was because I was kind of sick of working for places where it was all about the bottom line and how much money and how many clients you could get through the door. I wanted to start treating people like people and not parts, and really start caring for the whole person. And
Nice.
I felt pelvic health lended itself well to that. And then the business kind of exploded from there. I'm very lucky, within the space of a year, went from me to a team of 7. So there's 4 clinicians and 3 administration staff.
Yeah, wow. Like that's rapid growth.
Yeah, it's very scary, but exciting as well. But you know,
congratulations, because you won the Small Business of the Year award in was it 2019 or 2020?
2019.
2019. Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Big accomplishment.
Thank you very much. It was, but it really, I think, is more to do with having a good group of people around me, and people who believe in what we're trying to do, and change physio from a machine-based, here's your exercise, see me 3 times a week, you need to come forever kind of model that has been running the fields for years, and really trying to get people better. I always tell people, your job's to work me out of a job. I don't want to see you forever, right? Nice. And you know, empowering people to look after themselves is the biggest part of what we're doing, and
we're both. I can relate to that for sure. Yeah. One thing I think it's a really good segue into, like, talking about how you scaled your business like within a year, really tells me that you are, to a certain extent, pretty fearless, like pretty brave. I mean, I know we all have fear from time to time. It's a very natural emotion, but I also know as an entrepreneur that, you know, you face a lot of what I call mindset dragons as an entrepreneur, and that it's, you know, a very challenging road to go down. And so I would love to hear some insight from you, because at a time where, you know, we're up against this virus that is so unpredictable, so many unknowns, so many question marks around it, which is naturally going to evoke fear in people because it's something that is unknown to us. How did you overcome fear, and how are you overcoming fear now, or are you having any fear now in these present circumstances?
So in terms of growing my business, every time I added a new member of staff, there's always fear. Can I get them busy? Can I maintain them? You know, are they the right fit? Are they going to do something silly? I still have that fear. They all laugh at me, just so you know. But I think you have to remember, it's like going to the top of the roller coaster. You know, you've got your safety belt on, you know what you're doing, and you're pretty secure. It's going to be scary, but the outcome's always fun at the end. In terms of what's going on right now, I think the fear around the virus itself, I think we all have to remember that all the measures that are in place are there for our safety. We have to,
kind of like the seatbelt on the roller coaster, right?
Yeah, the seatbelts are on, right?
Yeah.
We don't know when the seatbelts are coming off. I think that's probably the biggest fear for most of us. I think that's probably the hardest part for certainly for me and anyone who probably works in a service type industry. You know, I hear certainly a lot of conversation around restaurateurs. I don't hear much conversation for physios, chiros, massage therapists, hairdressers. All these people who basically spend their entire time touching people, and all of us have pretty much lost our income. But know that the seatbelts will come off, and at the end of the day, we're all going to come back, and we're all going to be required.
Yes, and it's a good point. It's around having hope, right? Too, that, you know, we hold on to that hope, and that we embrace this opportunity to, I think, turn inward, because as entrepreneurs, we have so little time for self-care and for personal reflection, and maybe to do some of the things that we would love to do with our businesses, but we haven't had time to do, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're even reflecting on right now, how can I provide value to other people? I think is a question that a lot of entrepreneurs are asking themselves. So that's my next question for you.
Yeah.
During these times, how are you providing value to your clients and to the community and so on?
So I think the hardest thing that I've kind of had to, so I obviously am watching what a lot of other people are doing, and I see lots of people just jumping on this, what's called telehealth. So kind of doing this kind of thing, appointments, which we will offer to those who want it, those who need it.
Nicola, this might be a good time though to just, so what would that look like? So if I was one of your patients and we were going to do a telehealth session, what would that look like?
So we would set up a time and a day that worked, and we could talk through what was going on. People, you know, somebody asked me today about cost, and I'm like, let's just talk about what you can afford.
Yeah.
I think the reality of the situation is we can't set a price point on that. If you have health benefits and you're working, great. We can charge that through your benefits, and that allows our clinic to cover the overheads, because there's no break for me on rent. There's no break for me on telephone, fax, internet, all the supplies that we have to buy.
Costs.
Yeah, they all still exist, but it does. But for those people, we're going to do some webinars for people, simple tips they can use, because unfortunately we're all stuck at home. Yeah, we're trying to get out. People are trying to exercise, but at the end of the day, people are not going to be taking good care of their physical bodies the way they should be. And if we can help anybody, whether that's free, whether that's at a small cost, and I think that's the most important thing we can be doing, is starting to look after the people around us and not worry about your bottom line. I'd rather see us as a community pull together and do things at a minimal cost or no cost for other people, and being worried that people are being okay, people are being looked after. You know, there are people completely and utterly, you know, think of people in nursing homes right now. Their families aren't allowed to visit them. People in hospitals aren't getting visitors. I have an uncle in Scotland. He is in hospital and nobody's allowed to visit him now.
Yeah.
So he's completely
isolated. So hard, and it's so lonely too, right? For the people who are in those circumstances to, you know, be cut off. It's for their physical health, but socially we know that social contact also builds immunity, right? So being positive, laughter, you know, humor, connection, social connection boosts immunity and helps keep us healthy. So yeah, we want to be trying to stay connected and not, you know, have what's happening to your relative in Scotland happening at all, really. Have you seen some of those posts with the person on the other side of the window, like the granddaughter going to visit her grandfather, or the grandson visiting his granddad and he's reading to him through a window or whatever? Yeah.
And I think just being socially responsible as well. You know, I think, you know, a lot of people don't like our current premier, but yesterday he did a very good job and told people very firmly to stop hoarding. You know, I think if you have extra toilet roll or extra food, or you make too much for dinner, you know, put a message on your local Facebook, or, you know, you know, knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, you know, I made some extra dinner. I'm going to drop it off on your door. Right. I think we need to, you know, this is not wartime. We're very lucky. You know, people are kind of,
we're not being called to go to war. We're being called to sit on our couch
and watch Netflix,
or sit in our backyard or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So it could be worse. That's for sure.
My husband's grandmother was a teenager during the wars, during the Second World War, and she remembers not seeing a banana for years.
Right. I know.
And eating oatmeal.
Now, hopefully that doesn't happen to us with toilet paper. That we don't see
They never ran out of toilet paper. She doesn't remember this. She's very confused by it all.
Very strange thing. But it does come from that scarcity mindset, right? That when people are afraid, they go into scarcity mindset and there won't be enough for me. So then it compels them to prepare. But I think we're starting to see a shift now. So that was the initial reaction. And now I think we're starting to see the social cohesion start to form. People are starting to say, look, I have 20 cases of toilet paper. I'm embarrassed about it. Now, how can I share this, right, with everybody else?
And I think the same has to comply to you, to your business mindset. You know, I have a healthy business. I will have a healthy business. My business will be okay.
Right. And that's almost an affirmation that every business owner should be embracing right now. Because the more you say, I believe that we create as we speak. We create our own reality with our thoughts and our words. So if you're saying, I'm going to lose my business, I'm going to go broke, I'm going to go bankrupt. If those are the words that you're speaking and those are the thoughts that you're thinking, it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what you just said, I love that. I have a healthy, strong business. I will return to a healthy and strong business. I am surrounded by abundance, right? Like, look at, we're sitting on our couches in our homes with our families. We have so many things to be grateful for. So what is one thing you're grateful for right now, Nicola?
I'm healthy.
Right?
And you know, I just think I'm healthy. When the time comes, I can go back to work.
Yes.
And the other thing I'm extremely grateful for is my husband can still work. I see the other thing that I've seen, I don't know if you've noticed it, Shelley, how interesting. I've had to socially isolate myself from Facebook because people are very, well, you know, I don't want X person, this person in my life to be working. And, you know, I know lots of people that would give their right arm to have one member of their family working.
Yes, and I'm in the same boat. My partner Tim is working, my son TJ is working. And so, like, I just keep saying every day how grateful I am that they have the opportunity, or if you're able to work from home and be paid, which is another incredible privilege to have right now, right? So that's really good perspective to bring to everybody. Well, I just want to say the sincerest of thank yous to you for coming on here and sharing your words of wisdom and your experiences with me and with the Renew Your Vitality community.
No problem.
So, I will end with letting you give your parting words of wisdom and we'll wrap up.
I think just be kind to, like, you know, it's a good old be kind. Just be kind. And take it one day at a time. Just
one day at a time and be kind. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Nicola Robertson from Diamond Physiotherapy. We will see each other on the other side of this, for sure. All right, take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.